Okay, I guess that's okay. So introductions. My name is Henry Merkheim, and I study video production. I'm currently in around my second year of film school. It's something I've been studying my entire life. Um, right now, I want to pitch to you my talents as someone who is fairly proficient in video production. If anyone is looking for assistance in video production and in pretty much any part of it, that's what I'm here to prove to you. And I think the best way for me to show off my video talents is to walk you through all the steps I had to go through to make a short film this semester. So this semester, I decided to make a short film. It wasn't for a class. I wasn't paid to do it. No one asked me to do it. It was something I did under my own cognition because I've been going to film school for the past 2 years. I already mentioned this, studying filmmaking my whole life. And after everything that's been going on in the world, I had a mental breakdown and said to myself, I need to make a film. All right. And so I took a 10-page script that I had written last spring. The script was written in a short script writing class, but the sort of idea of it was thought of long before then. It was a comedy script about a college student who had never had sex, and his virginity had taken the form of an imaginary friend who's always making fun of him. Very comical idea. I'm sure you can already figure out the sort of ideas that subject matter is trying to tackle. But that was what I decided to make a film about because I knew I could film it entirely in my apartment. I could probably do it with less than 6 people, and so that was sort of my starting point is here's my script, let me work with it. And I had to do some revisions to the script. There was like one scene where the script said like, oh, a person catches on fire. I had to change that out. I switched it out for a coffee burn, but it still served the same purpose. Uh, so because this was all being done under my own cognition, I was basically director, producer, screenwriter, everything. And so I had to storyboard out every single scene. I still have, oh, okay. Can you see them? This is just one page of the storyboards. And right now the digital background is blocking it out, but I hope you can get the idea. That was several pages of writing it out. I had to line my script. You may or may not know what that is. That's when you take your script and you draw lines on the borders to sort of mark out what every shot is going to be. I had to acquire a cast and crew and props all on my own. And I had to figure out what days the shooting was going to be. And I was sort of planning all this out in October. The entirety of October was spent just on pre-production, doing all these things. I had a list of 12 prompts that I had to acquire. I have them listed here. And along with the props that I had to acquire, I've listed off how I ended up acquiring them or what they ended up turning into. And so one of the things is I needed a pair of glasses for a character to wear. Actually, I had 2 characters who had to wear glasses. And so I ended up purchasing one pair of fake glasses. It was used in one scene, and then the following scene with a different character, I put duct tape on them to make them look like a different person. And those sort of cutting corners is exhibited through pretty much all of this, where some of the things like I had to purchase a spinning wheel. You can sort of see it here. That was purchased on Amazon. I had to get things like a coffee pot, and I got that from Goodwill. So I basically just sort of went all over the place. And I think I probably spent somewhere within the budget of $100 of my own money just on props alone, and other things where I painted an entire skull picture. This was all done during the month of October, along with planning out the shoot. I had 6 scenes to plan out. Um, Everything was being filmed in my apartment, but and that worked for any scene in the movie that was filmed in an apartment. But I also had 2 scenes that were supposed to take place in a cafe and one in an old folks' home. For the cafe, I basically overlit the entire background and gave it sort of a whiteout look, and then I tried to put in some noise to make it sound more like a cafe. For the old folks' home, I literally covered up my couch in cling wrap, so to sort of give it like that old grandma who doesn't want her couch dirty look. I had split screen effects that I had to do where in multiple scenes I have to make it look like one actor is playing 2 people. The other difficult thing, and this was mostly just a hard sell for actors, is I had a simulated sex scene that I had scripted. So I was asking some college level actors to do a simulated sex scene, which is just in general an awkward thing to ask. And for each and every one, I had to explain to them, like, don't worry, everything's going to be silhouette, you know. So to acquire cast and crew, I went onto the Columbia Chief phone app, which is no longer available. They deleted it very recently this year for reasons I have no idea why, but it was a great source for getting talent. I went on there, I made a cast and crew call. I said, hey, I'm looking for 1 actor, 2 actresses, anyone else can help. I got a bunch of people to respond. Some of them responded and then dropped out immediately. But I did end up getting 1 actor, 1 actress, and 1 cinematographer to help make this movie with me. So every production shoot is going to have issues. Something, Murphy's Law kicks in and something goes wrong. The day before shooting, my lead actress texted me and said she was dropping out of the project. And so you gotta think fast on your feet. You gotta grab whatever you can. When this happened, I was forced to turn to my cinematographer, who was also by chance female, and I had to ask her to fill in the role, which was a challenge on her part, being that she wasn't a practicing actress. And not only was she going to have to act in a role, she went from just pointing the camera to playing a main character and having to do a simulated sex scene, which is awkward for everyone. The second hiccup was the first 2 days of filming were filmed on November 6th and 7th, which is when Biden was announced as president. My lead actor decided to go to a celebration rally at Trump Tower when Biden was elected and got exposed to someone who might have COVID. So we had to postpone the final shoot day by an entire week, which was also frustrating. He had to get tested. And this is sort of a regular thing that happens in film production. Is shit happens, all the way going back to high school when I was making short films. All the time, someone wouldn't show up, a prop would break, something, and you work with it and you move past it. So we finished the following weekend. I stayed up all night just editing the movie on my own because I was so excited to put it together. I think I remember just sitting at my couch editing it. I think I kept on telling myself, like, just keep working on it. Like, that was a thought in my brain is, whatever happens, just keep working on it because you can get this done tonight. All the video and sound editing was done in Adobe Premiere Pro. Color correction was done in DaVinci Resolve. Right now, the film is finished. I have links right here. Well, the first link is a link for a teaser, which is basically advertising it for exhibition. The second link is the film itself. Um, uh, Take a look at those links. Take a picture of them, look them up later. I'll probably try and repost them in the chat later for people to seek out and bookmark. All right, so music in the film. This is something I almost forgot to mention. So as you can tell, this slide is a little bit incomplete. Music was also acquired through the Columbia Chiat, where I got in contact with a composer named Mac Wolf, who did the music for free. And the way that worked is we were in contact with each other over text. He would send me music over email, and any adjustments I felt had to be done, I would correspond with him. And so I think for the most part it was good, but I told him to sort of switch some sounds up. There was some music that may have a better tone to it. But that was one more part of the process, is sort of corresponding with a musical artist. And right now I'm looking for exhibition. So I'm looking for any amateur film festivals, scholarship opportunities, anyone who can either provide me money to show it or can give me a chance of winning, or maybe just sort of getting more eyes to see it, basically. And so along with all the talents that I'm showing off today, I also want to point out that if anyone knows of a good film festival that I could show an amateur film for, that would also be fantastic. Now, this project, going through all the steps as sort of quickly and sped-paced as I do, it makes it sound a little bit easy and a little bit like anyone can probably just do it if they know the steps. When I first started this project, I did have a co-director. I had someone who had assisted me with putting the script together. I had worked with them on some of them projects before. And they dropped out of the project very early on because they told me, in their words, it had gotten too big for them. All right. I had every reason to doubt myself for this. I had a death in my family this year. I got rejected by my crush. I haven't been able to see my family at all this holiday season because of travel regulations. I had 5 classes going on this summer. I had a part-time job. And I also had all the craziness with COVID that we've all been going through, where we haven't been able to socialize at all, haven't been able to go to movie theaters. I had every reason to tell myself that I'm depressed and I can't do this. I had every reason to say that I'm in no position to try and make a full 8-minute short film out of the script that I did, because who's going to say yes during this time? But I still did it. I still got it done because I still cared about it immensely. If you are looking for a script writer, a shoot planner, a director, an editor, I can do one part or every part, because no matter how busy my life is, no matter what's going on, I can get it done no matter what. This is the art form that I'm passionate about, and even when I'm going to work 3 or 4 times a week and I've got death in my family, I'm still committed to it. And I'm gonna end you on that. I'm gonna go back to the very start just to have my phone number and emails on screen right now, so you can take one more look at those. That's who I am, and let me know if I can help you out with anything.
Thank you. I'm gonna ask if anybody has any questions. We have another guest in here too that just came. Does anybody have any questions? I got some questions, by the way, Henry, but I'm asking anyone else has any questions right now.
I have a question. Henry, can you actually post the link to your short film?
Yeah, let me exit out of the actual slideshow here because I think I need to do that in order to do that. All right.
That's it right there.
Yeah, hold on. I got open Zoom chat. Okay, so here's a link to the short film. Let me just make sure it's working. Yes, it is. Okay, that's a link to the short film. It's currently unlisted on YouTube because I'm waiting for it to be screened at some sort of film festival or something first. You never know. It's about 8 minutes long, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend watching it now unless we have 8 minutes to spare, which I don't think we do. Bookmark it, check it out. I'm pretty sure my contacts are they might not be in the video right now since it's unlisted, but the teaser video on the YouTube channel, which is public, does have my information on it.
How many projects have you done, Henry? Have you actually worked on film projects?
It depends what you mean by projects. If you're referring to like a full short film, this is about the first one I've put together since my first year here. My first year here, I put together an animated documentary that was about 2 minutes long. When I was in high school, I did a lot of documentaries and stuff. For the most part, during college, I've had people ask me to edit their short films. I've written like some scripts and stuff. I've done short videos. This was like the first full short film I've put together in like 2 years, I think, though. I think that was like part of my motivation for doing it, where, I was sort of hungry to do it again. I hadn't really had the opportunity to do it, and I didn't want to do practicum. I didn't want to do any of that. I don't want to take any directing classes because I sort of feel like I know how to direct already, as evidenced by the short film I was able to make. So yeah, it's the first one I've made in a while. It depends what you mean by project, because obviously there's been other things I worked on. This is the first one where I was like the sole main creator of everything going into it, though.
Another question. Well, this is a follow-up question of what you just said. You said that you don't feel like you need a directing class because you know how to direct.
Yeah.
Is it possible you think you could get better at directing through a class?
I don't think through a class. I think the best way to improve my directing skills is just to direct more short films. But I don't think it'll be through a directing class.
Okay. And then my last question is, so you're a screenwriter, director, shoot planner, editor. What are you best at? Out of the four of those, what are you best at? Or actually, as a matter of fact, rank them. So from 4 to 1, 1 being what you're best at.
I'm going to say shoot. Not to say I'm like bad at any of these. I would put shoot planner at the bottom. Screenwriter number 3. Director number 2, and editor number 1, I would say.
Okay.
Roughly. Not, I don't want to like imply I'm poor at any one of those tasks, but yeah.
Okay, those are all the questions I have. So I have a question for the audience. And it's one question, but it is a why to that question. And the question is, I want you to put yourself in the audience shoes of looking for people like a film crew. So put yourself in my shoes. Would you hire Henry and why? Exactly why? Could be would you not and why too? And trust me, this is going to help you with your presentation.
And the why to that is because of your determination.
Okay.
And
I'm thinking you said yes. I didn't hear yes or no. I think you said yes.
I did say yes.
Okay, cool.
I said yes because of his determination. What his presentation taught me was like he was a very hard worker, and that despite many disadvantages one might have for making their own project, he got through them anyway, and I really respect that. So I would hire him.
Thank you. I want to hear from at least two other people. Would you hire Henry and why?
Yeah, I can talk. Yes, I would too, because I can see a lot of potential in him, especially the confidence he has. It was interesting for me. He is telling that I will not take directing class because I can experience myself in short films. It's kind of, I like it or not, but because I see more confidence in this, I can see how Henry can handle everything, especially when he has skills in every field. So yes, I will hire him.
Okay. And one other person. Would you hire Henry and why?
Honestly, I also think that I would probably hire Henry because the way he just like, explained like everything that he's worked on throughout his presentation, I believe that like I would hire him if I was hiring somebody.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for me, what I like to look at it, you know, I guess a spades player, and you know, the biggest card if you're playing with Joker is the big Joker. And so for me, the big Joker was when he said, "Look at all the things that happened to me in my life, as well as losing a co-director, and I still got it done." That, you know, and then also, I love that he gave a personal testimony about someone in his cast getting COVID, because it's like that, you know, we're talking about shooting during COVID. So those two things really stood out for me, that he did that. So great work, Henry. Great work.